Where did we get up to?
Okay, we've got the 23rd of January, Rabbi Levitt, Gemora.
Okay, so mhm. Yeah. So we're basically Rebbe Reb Nachman, Motzin. Oh, okay. So yeah, so we were right in the middle of the Esve of Rava to Rav Nachman. Rav Nachman said in the name of Shmuel that in the case of the Goslin who stole the property from the owner and sold it to a third party. So when the rightful owner takes the property away from the purchaser goes to the Goslin. He gets the purchase price back from the Goslin, but according to Rav Nachman, in the name of Shmuel, he does not get back the improvements that he made because Schar Mosaf Omed Banotel, meaning that it looks like he's getting rivers. Schar Mosaf Omed Banotel. Okay, and now Rav is asking a kasha on Rav Nachman. Esvei Rav Rav Nachman. Let's go over this kasha that Rav is asking Rav Nachman again. This is the case of Ein Motzian La'achilas Peros Shevach Karkos. This can be found. First, it's about 20 lines down from the top, close to the middle of the page on 14b, and it's the first words in the line. Esve Rava L'Rev Nachman. And we're calling upon Roy to read the Gemora.
Right. Esvei Rava L'Rav Nachman. Rava challenged Rav Nachman from a Mishnah. Ein Metzia. We do not collect Chilas Piros for consumption of produce. We do not collect for consumption of produce. Hang on, okay. The Loshbach Karakaos, or for improvement of land. We do not collect for consumption of produce or for improvement of land. The limazon hashah the habanos, or for food of a man's wife and daughters. Minakosim mishuos dim from encumbered properties. Mipnei hikin halin, because of the common good. And then Rava explained his question. Sounds strange.
Okay, what's the case exactly? Ein motzin. We don't take away karka for the need of payment of the various payments that should be made for the Sheva Karkos and for the Sorach of Ishu Bonos from Nechosim Meshubadim, from encumbered properties because of Tikkun Olam. Oh, so now we have to understand what's the Tikkun, why was. Let's take a look at Tikkun Olam means for the betterment, for the Tikkun of the Olam, for the improvement of society.
Hang on. What are we saying? We don't take.
Yeah, the case is not clear. Let's try to do it again. Ein motzin. In other words, like this: you have a buyer and a seller. The seller sells to the buyer. Buyer's bought property. Now the property is sounds like it's taken away from him. What's the basis for taking the property away from this buyer? We're taking the property away from the buyer of it in order to pay for Achilas Peros. Yeah, this is really not clear. It's really not clear here. Really not clear. I'm tempted to go. Maybe we have to take a look in the it's a Mishnah in Maseches Gittin. It's a Mishnah in Maseches Gittin that is being brought over here.
The land is not the seller's.
No, that's not what we're talking about now.
No.
Where did you read that from?
A line or two above.
Yeah, don't mix up things. That's not what we're talking about here. We're not talking about somebody that stole property.
Mm-hmm.
This is what's difficult over here. Maybe Rashi will fill us in over here. Maybe we'll try to see. Okay, there is a Rashi over here. Lemazon ha'isha v'habonos. Okay, let's see if we could figure it out from what Rashi says. Property is being taken away from the purchaser for the needs of Achilas Peros and for the needs of Sheva Karka. Ulitzorach Mazon Ha'ish Babonos, or we don't take it away for these needs from property which is Mishubadim. Mipnei Tikkun Olam. Okay. Yeah, we need some help over here. I can't imagine. Okay, let's take a look at Rashi. Lachilas Peros. Rashi doesn't help us at all over there. Meforish Luhu Lakaman. We're going to explain it soon. Very nice. Thank you very much. Okay, let's take a look at the next Rashi. Lemozon ha'isha v'habonos. Phil, you want to read?
Which Rashi you want now?
Rashi di Ramaskil, Lemozon ha'isha v'habonos.
Okay. For food, for the wife, and for the children. Tanai Ketuba. It's a condition inside the Ketuba. shemekabel that he would accept upon himself et taha yidvei bebeiti, that he will give from his household mit zana, and he would minechse, something about he would something from his property. She would.
This is a Tanai in Ksuba.
Okay,
that he's addressing the wife. It says, "Atehe yosva babesi." You'll reside in my house.
Okay, you'll reside in my house, and you're going to get food from my property.
Yeah,
from my property. The chain, and also habanot, and also from for the children. Banam nokvim. What nokvim is?
Female children.
Oh, okay, from the children, the sons and the daughters. Dihu, that is lecha mine. It's not from this. Einon yechon. It's not part of your. Not part of like a cone, like your debt, so to speak. Yitvan, Yiteven, I will give my house. And meet Nazana, supply you, meet a safer pride. Ad, only ad, the Tal Kalam, the Tal Kachan, that unless you purchase Legovri.
No, till Kachan, until you are taken by your husband, Govrin.
Okay.
Till you get married.
Ain motzim, and don't give le'achar mikol, after all these things, elu rada hanachasim mishumin, only from the encumbered properties, the mortgaged up properties.
So ein motzin, we don't take away from nechasim mishubadim. We don't take away from encumbered and properties. Le'echad mikol elu, not for any one of these mentioned things that are mentioned over here. So that's what it's saying over here. In other words, the husband has an obligation according to what it says in the ksuba. This is one of the conditions of the ksuba that he gave. He gave support and sustenance to his family. And so the Gemora is saying, the Mishnah in Gittin is saying over here that so that's really a situation where his family is sort of like a creditor of their husband and father. And so it's like they in the ksuba, as a result of divorce or death, these obligations accrue on the estate of the husband. And so what the Gemara is saying over here, the Mishnah in Gittin is saying over here is that so if the husband sold properties to a purchaser, so we won't take these properties away from the purchaser to pay off these obligations that the husband has. Doesn't mean that he's free of the obligations, or that they're not going to get their rightful due that he guaranteed them in the ksuva, but it's not going to come from nechasim mishubadim. It's not going to come from properties that he sold to a purchaser. Why? mipnei tikkun ha'olam, because of the better functioning of society. Oh, now there's a Rashi over here about mipnei tikkun ha'olam, because of the better functioning of society. Why is it better functioning of society to not have these obligations paid off from properties that a purchaser bought from the husband? Lou, would you like to read?
Im ata omer yit refu le kochos al kach ein lecha adam she lokeach sadeh masbiru deha ein lecha adam she'ein chazav ein chov she'ein chov ze motel alav udevar she'ein lo kitzava he v'achilas peiros v'shevach karkaos nami devar she'eno yodua hu v'ein hil ko chos yodim lehazhar b'chach. Wow, it's a long Rashi. That if you say, what's yitarfu?
Yitarfu lekuchos. If you say that let the purchaser have his land taken away from him after he bought it from this person who now has to pay a ksuva.
Let his land be taken from him. Al kach. Concerning this, there is not to you a man. There is not to a man shalukach sadeh. Something with his field. What's shalukach?
Then you will not have such a thing as a person who will be lokeach. He will be a purchaser of a sadeh, of a field, mechavero, from his fellow Jew.
Daha ein lecha adam she'ein chov. We don't have a man that does not have a obligation.
Zeh, chov zeh. This obligation.
This obligation.
Meaning the obligation of having to pay a ksuva in the event of death or divorce.
So every married man has such an obligation.
Yeah, so therefore,
mutal alav. What's mutal?
That's incumbent upon him. It's placed upon him, this obligation.
That it's not for him.
What's
kitzvah?
A limit.
That there's no limit for him. and he eats the fruits. He benefits from the produce, from the production of the field. V'shevach kaos, the value of the land. Also, in a thing that is not yadua, not known, that it's not.
It's something which is not known. What does he mean by that? Okay, we'll see.
What's lakukos?
The ein halakukos, right? And the purchasers of the property, they do not
know.
Yodim, they don't know
to take back from it.
Is here. They don't know how to guard themselves from such a loss. If they buy property from somebody who's married, so that person has a ksuva, and in the event that the ksuva needs to be paid, if we're going to say that all these obligations that he has to pay in the ksuva, and he doesn't, if we're going to say that the family could take this property from this purchaser of this field, and that would include the achilas peros refers to the revenues of the field, the peros of the karka. The peros is what the field generates in terms of income, just like peros of a field. That's the income that the value that the field generates, and shevach karkos, and also the improvement of the field. If the purchaser, of course, right, he's going to make improvements. He may make significant improvements to the value of the field. If this is all going to be going unexpectedly and without any notice, in the event of a need to pay the ksuba, he doesn't know how to guard himself from such a situation, because in an ordinary case, somebody who buys property from a seller, first of all, what does he want to do? He wants to find out if the guy really owns the property. That's what we were talking about before. The guy bought property from somebody that didn't own it. He stole it, in fact, from somebody else. So that's one thing that a purchaser of property should find out. Does the person who's selling me the property that I'm paying all this money to, does he actually own the property? That's number one. Number two is that now he's selling me the property. I wonder why he's selling me this property right now. Maybe he's trying to sell off his assets because he's in debt. He has creditors that he owes money to, and property is going to be encumbered. Maybe this property is encumbered by a lien to a prior creditor, who, in the event of non-payment, would be able to be toref and take away the property that I bought from this individual. So that's the general case of the situation. Here, Rashi's saying that we've got a case of an obligation that the seller has that's a bit like a wild card. We don't know how to guard ourselves from getting burned. In other words, in the case of a ordinary loan that the person make, we could do an investigation and try to find out, does this person have any outstanding loans that he hasn't paid? which he made, which he got these loans before I'm buying the property. And like that, we know if the property has a lien on it based upon this creditor or that creditor who loaned this guy money. But everybody has a ksuba. That goes without saying. Every Jew has a ksuba. You buy, and not only not only that, but you don't know. You don't know how to guard yourself from this situation. About if your property is going to be taken away from you as a buyer, Rashi is saying that the Mishnah over there says that because of tikkun olam, meaning we want people to be able to feel that they can buy property and not worry that it's going to be taken away from them unfairly, in a way that they're not going to be able to guard themselves from it being taken away. And this is a case. This is the case that's happening over here. So, okay, now that's what it says so far in the Mishnah. Now we're going to go further to see what the Gemora says over here. Rava is now so far all he's done is he's quoted a Mishnah in Gittin. Now he's going to develop his kasha on Rav Nachman, who, remember, he says that the purchaser of the property is not going to be reimbursed for improvements that he made. Rav is asking a kasha based upon this Mishnah that would seem to refute that view that Rav Nachman said that he won't be reimbursed with the improvements for karka. So we're up to the point in the Gemara that says mi meshabde hu delo mafkina. Right? The first word in the line is tikkun, ha'olam. So right after that, it says, mi meshabde. This is Rava talking now. Okay, back to Roy.
How far down is it?
How far down is it? It's
It's Ashley.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, it's just 3 lines down from where you started reading.
Just now. All right. What was that?
First word in the line is tikkun.
Oh, yes, I see. Tikkun. Hold on. Okay, so some column tikkun because of the common good. All right. So now we want Rava to explain his question. Is that it now?
Right.
So what do I do with the sorry. Okay. So Mimashah the day, who daily Dalal Kinan Mimashah the day. The Mishnah implies that it is only from encumbered properties that we do not collect. Mibnei Korin Mipakinan, but we do collect from these obligations. We do collect these obligations from properties free of encumbrance. The Kosonei me'or. And nevertheless, the Mishnah taught the case of collection, lishba korabos, for the improvement of land. Now, what is the case referred to by the Mishnah? Lav belakeach migazalon. Is it not referring to one who purchases land from a robber and claims compensation from the seller from his improvements that were seized by the rightful owner? Apparently the Mishnah rules, but the purchaser, this is what ArtScroll is saying. Apparently the Mishnah rules that the purchaser of stolen property is compensated by the seller for his improvement, which contradicts Rav Nachman. The Gemara gives an answer.
Okay, before we get to the Gemara's answer, let's try to understand where Rava's proof is from. Okay, so first thing is that Rav is pointing out that the Mishnah, the words that we read from the Mishnah, that we don't take for Chilas Peros and Sheva Karkos and Mazon Isha Vabonos, we don't take it from Nuchasim Mishubadim. We don't take it from encumbered properties, meaning properties that were sold to a purchaser after the obligation of the ksuva was entered into, which would be at the time of the marriage. So we see that the only thing that the family is not able to take for the payment of the ksuva is from encumbered properties that were sold to a purchaser, but properties that are bnei chorin, which were not sold to a purchaser, which are still in the possession of the husband, that they mafkinen, that properties could be taken to pay these obligations of the ksuva. Okay, that's step one. Now, where do we get the improvements in the property? Uktani miha, and we learned in the Mishnah here in Gittin, l'sheva karkos. We learned also that sheva karkos, the improvements that have been made to the property, they are also included in this calculation, meaning that from properties that were of a purchaser of property, they would not be included. But properties which are still in the possession of the husband who owes the ksuva, they could be. So then the Gemara says, "My love, belokeach migazlan." Wouldn't this also include? Wouldn't the Mishnah also include the case of somebody who purchased from a gazlan? Oh, I see that there's a long Rashi on this. Okay. So that's the next thing that we got to do. But before we see the Rashi, what exactly, I don't even see how's the Gemara putting this in over here? Isn't the Mishnah talking about someone who purchased from a gazlan? In other words, he's also a husband, and he also wrote a ksuva, I guess. So he sold property that didn't belong to him to a purchaser. And the rules that it says in the Mishnah in Gittin would apply to him as well. That seems to be where the Gemara is coming from. Let's take a look maybe at Rashi, see what Rashi's talking about. Lou, is it Lou's
Rashi,
turn or Phil's turn to read the Rashi?
I think it's my turn. Let's see which
Rashi
Rashi.
Divramaskil, the one right after Mipnei Tikkun Olam. Yeah, Lou read Mipnei Tikkun Olam. And so Phil, you read the next one, My Love Belokeach Soda Begazlan. It's the last Rashi of the narrow lines.
Wait. You said the last Rashi on the narrow lines.
In other words, it's about 7 lines up from where the narrow lines ended off.
Just after a double dot. And May is the last word on the line.
My love, Melokeach Sode Hagazlan.
Yeah.
What?
You got it.
Okay. What is it not of the purchaser of a field from a gosling? Why isn't this? That's like a rhetorical question. Isn't it
Right.
not that the purchaser bought the field from a thief?
Isn't the Mishnah also talking about such a case too?
Uhashvicha, now the improvements, uba and we're talking and in terms of the improvements, uba hanigzal, the victim came, the one who got stolen from came. The tarfar, and he made a deal. Choser halokeh, the purchaser now will retract the gova, and he will collect the keren, the principal, min hamocher, from the seller, afilu min nichnas, even from the properties that are guaranteed, that are mortgaged up, shemacha, that it was sold, achar mechirazo, because this sale is after a sale after it was sold. So this the staro is in the star shell of this one. Kodem, before that, Kodem shikatav bo achreot, even before he even wrote that it's going to be, even though before he's going to write, tell you that it was backed up with achreot. But hasheva, the problem is the improvements, nichsim, from the properties, chorim, or from property. The improvements are from properties that are unencumbered, b'nei chorim, free properties. They're not from the. You can't get them from the ones that are mortgaged. Below mimishurin, not from the ones that are mortgaged out. You can only get it from his properties that are not backed up. Because he can alone, because of this concept of betterment of the world. Because the improvements, lo haya katsuv, they were not, these amounts were not fixed. Bishat hamechira, at the time of the sale. Because she bail Allah, that he accepted from him achriot, that things that when he says he's achriot, that he's going to back it up, it only is in the principle, not on the shevach. We see Islay, there is to the lokea, to the purchaser, shevach, the improvements, megazlan. He does get the improvements from the thief. So the difference is basically he's getting it, but he can't get it from the backed up properties. He can only get it from the unencumbered properties.
Yeah. So here we see, says Rashi, that this Mishnah should be a proof that Islay Lokeach, that there is to the Lokeach, there is to the purchaser that purchased from a Goslin, Shevach, he'll be able to recover the improvements in the property that he made to the property that he bought from the Goslin, as well as the Karen. Karen is referring to the purchase price for the property itself. That he gets the Karen, and he gets also the Shevach. He also gets the improvements that he made on the property. That's also when that's taken away from him by the purchaser, not the purchaser, by the true owner of the property. He goes and takes it away. He proves that he's the owner of the property. So the Beis Din gives him the authority to take the property away. And now this buyer has to take his recourse from the Goslin. So we're saying that when he takes his recourse because the Goslin, he sold him the property with achrayas. He sold him with a guarantee. So that guarantee will allow the purchaser to recover what he paid for the property itself, and it will also allow him to recover what the value that he invested in the field, the improvements that he made in the property from his seller, the Goslin. That's what Rashi says that we see from this case in the Mishnah in Gittin.
Okay.
Okay, however it is that we see it, but that you take Rashi, you can either take Rashi's word for it, or you could think about it on your own and figure it out.
Okay. Take care.
Okay.
Very good. Thank you. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbos.
Shabbat shalom.
Thanks.
Good Shabbos, Phil. Good Shabbos, Lou.
Okay.
Shabbos, Rabbi Levitt.
Thank you, Rabbi.
Shabbos. All the best to everybody, to Phil and to